Hello, welcome back for another workout with me, Emily of Home Sweet Pilates. Today, we will be doing a no springs reformer express workout. What that means is it's gonna be short and sweet. It's gonna have no springs, but you will feel it. This is definitely a more intermediate to advanced workout. Anytime there's no springs, you really have to make sure that you have a lot of control and stability in your movement. So if you are not pretty well experienced with the reformer, I would probably skip this workout until you have a little bit more experience under your belt. Otherwise, if you really want to do it, you can do it on a yellow spring or even a blue spring if you would like, to be able to do it to get used to the movements before moving to no springs. Okay? So, had to just get my little spiel out before we started. You don't need anything else. You don't even need your box, just yourself, your reformer, and let's get going. So we are going to begin here, seated in the center of our carriage, feet firmly planted about hip distance apart. My bar is at the height that it would normally be for footwork. We're just gonna start with some gentle seated mermaids, okay? So my inside palm is face up. I'm gonna keep both hips firmly planted as I press the carriage away, bringing this inside arm up and over towards the foot bar, keeping my chest nice and square to the front. I'll bring it back up to seated, to that starting position, and we'll do it again. Press it out. One thing with having no springs is it's really easy to slam your carriage. So we're gonna keep that in mind. We're gonna bring it up and over. We're gonna add a little rotation on this one. Let's take that top arm, bring it to the foot bar, chest turns towards the springs, but hips stay square to that starting position, okay? We'll bring it back, square everything up, bring it on in, do it one more time. We come up and over, rotate towards that foot bar. That back hip is firmly planted here, shoulders are out of your ears. Square it back up and bring it all the way in. Now, let's turn to face the foot bar, one foot on either side of the carriage here, okay? Bring your hips and your tailbone closer towards the front of that carriage bed. Hands are on the bar in front of you. We're just gonna do some gentle pelvic tilts here. So, starting in that neutral position, let's do an exhale, curl that pelvis under ever so slightly. It's a really small movement here. So we're just moving from that pelvis, and then we'll inhale to release it, bring that tailbone back towards the wall in front of you, and do it again. Exhale, tilt that pelvis under. Inhale, release. I'm keeping my chest proud the whole time. My upper back is staying straight. I'm not rounding it, right? We're not doing an exaggerated cat-cow here. We're just tilting in that pelvis. Inhale, release. We'll do one more, and then we're gonna go to mermaids on the other side. Release here. And bring that leg over towards the other side. We are now in the center. Let's bring our carriage all the way in, going into that mermaid. So, sorry, I had a mosquito. We bring that arm up and over as we reach towards that foot bar, keeping everything square to the wall in front. Sit yourself back up. Do it again. Bring it up and over. Just trying to get us warmed up before we get into all the work. Bring it up. 2 rotations. So we bring it over, rotate that top arm, chest goes towards the springs, shoulders are down, hips stay square to that starting position. Bring everything back up, and we'll do one more here. Up and over. And bring it back in. Now, let's rotate towards that foot bar. Bring your feet into the well. So we're in between the carriage and the platform here. We're gonna come to standing, going into a little lunge series here. So I'm gonna start with my right foot here. Hands are on the foot bar. Place your left knee onto the carriage here. Foot is in between the shoulder blocks on the headrest. Just bring yourself back into a deep lunge. So you'll notice my knee is in line with my ankle here. I'm not having it over my foot, right? I'm sitting back into that heel. Keep firmly planted in this right leg. Lift from your hips to bring the carriage in with that left leg. Sit it back once again. Chest stays proud. Bring it up. Last one here. Bring it back. Hold it here. Curl that left foot under. Bring that knee off the carriage. Bring the carriage all the way in. Step your left foot towards the front here. Not all the way, just kind of in the front half of that carriage. We're gonna sit back into that little lunge here, right? Not as far as we just were, enough that our back leg can be straight, and we're gonna scooter it in and out. So we just use that left leg to bring the carriage in and bring it out. We're holding it low in this standing leg. Everything stays square. If you need to play around with the placement of your foot, that's totally fine. Make sure the majority of your weight is in that standing heel. Option, take one hand off of the foot bar. Option, take the other hand off. You can place them behind your head. You can have them out at a diagonal, out to the side. I don't really care, whatever feels comfortable. This is the most challenging version. This takes a lot of balance and control. Use your breath. Inhale as you release. Exhale to bring it in. We have 3 more, moving at this pace. 3, 2, how's our standing leg doing? 1, bring it all the way out, hands go back onto the bar. Let's rotate. So I'm facing the left now, where my right leg is my standing leg, right? My left foot is on the carriage. I'm gonna rotate my feet so they're pointing towards the shoulder blocks. And I have a slight, ever so slight bend in the standing leg. I'm just gonna bring that carriage in and press it out with a flex in my foot. Bring it in, press it out. Keep yourself square to that wall in front of you. I just don't want your leg all the way locked out. It doesn't need to be fully bent, right? Just a little tiny bend in that standing leg. Hands come behind your head. Now, as you bring that carriage in, rotate your torso towards your leg and bring it back out. Rotate it in. Bring it back out. We're moving slow intentionally. Rotate it in. Bring it back out. Now rotate it here. Open the arms to a T. Back. Press it out. 2 more like this. It's not very heavy. This is mostly about control, okay? Back to center. Now rotate back towards that foot bar. Your left foot is already on that carriage, right? You're gonna press into your hands. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. Lift your right leg to meet your left. Hold it here in this plank. Now tiptoe your feet, keeping your legs straight, to bring the carriage in. So your feet are tiptoeing back to the headrest. And now we bring your feet forward, tiptoe, 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 to bring the carriage out. Do it again. Make sure all of your fingers are facing forward. You do not have your thumbs wrapped around that bar. This is so much harder than it looks. Try not to slam the carriage. I've slammed it a couple times. Hold your feet at the edge here now. So now my toes are right at the edge of the carriage. Bend your knees in. Press it out. Keeping your shoulders over your wrists. I'm exhaling as I release. Inhaling to bring it in. I'm sweating down my arm. You have 3. Don't hike your butt up. 2, shoulders down. 1, Press it out, hike the hips up now. Oh, hike them up. If you need to move your feet back just a hair, do so, okay? So now my feet are in line with my hips. Press it back out to a plank, slow and controlled. No springs, means this is all control. Hike up the hips, engage those lower abs. Keep those shoulders over the wrists. 2 more. Are we dying yet? I am. 1 more. Bring it out. We're not done. Take both those heels, rotate them to the left. We're in a slight diagonal. Shoulders are square. Bend the knees in. Press it out. You can be on your toes. 3. Neck is long. 2. 1. Square it up. Heels come towards the right. Bring it in. Press evenly through both of those hands. You'll feel your bottom oblique. 3. 2. You can do it. 1. Square it up once again. Just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step your foot down. Put your right or your left leg in the well. Right knee goes onto the carriage, onto that other side for the lunge. Shake out your hands if you need to. Here we go. Press back into that lunge. Oh, this actually feels like a nice little break, right? Lift the hips to bring that right knee in. Press it back, chest stays proud. One more. Hold it here. Flex that foot that's on the carriage under. Lift the knee off. Stand yourself up. Bring your foot a little bit closer here, going into those scooters. So you're strong in that standing leg. You're seated back, right? All that weight is in that left heel. Scooter the carriage in and out. Keep those hips square. Make sure you can extend that leg all the way, okay? Option, one hand off. Option, both hands off, behind the head, out to the side, at a diagonal in front of you. I don't really care. I like to have them behind my head. Chest is proud. It's really tempting to want to move really fast through this, but we're not doing that on purpose. Can you get a centimeter lower in that standing leg? It is so humid and hot. I'm sweating so bad. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come down. Rotate to the front now. This right leg, toes are pointed towards the shoulder blocks. Super slight bend in that standing leg. We're just not locked out here, okay? Hands are behind our head. Flex in this foot that's on the carriage. We just bend it in and press it out. Bend it in, press it out. Keep everything square for right now. Shoulders are down and back. On this next one, we're gonna add that rotation, okay? As you bend it in, rotate towards, press it out. Two more. Last one. And release. Now, let's bring our carriage all the way to the back to the risers here. We're gonna lie ourselves down. So, we're gonna start with a couple gentle roll downs, okay? So, your feet are firmly planted in front of you, hip distance apart. Sitting up nice and tall. Arms out at shoulder width. Same way we did those pelvic curls, right? You're gonna curl that pelvis under, roll yourself halfway back, and then roll yourself back up, seated nice and tall. Imagine your back is cut in half. Top half has a rod in it, bottom half is what bends, okay? So exhale, tilt, tilt, tilt. I'm not rounding everything. Tilt, tilt, tilt. in that pelvis. Roll it down. You'll feel much more engagement in that core if you do it this way. Keep those feet firmly planted. Last one here. Roll it down halfway. Hands come behind your head. Pick up your right leg. Rotate your left elbow to the right leg. Drop it down, tap the toe. Do it again. Rotate. Exhale as you rotate. 2 more. 1 more. Foot comes down, hands come down, little pulses up, up, up. You have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it down, hands behind the head. Left leg comes to tabletop. Rotate the right elbow. Lower down and tap. Really wring out that spine. 2 more. Last one. Arms come out, roll it down all the rest of the way. Whew. Let's lie ourselves back. Grab onto those risers behind you. We're not out super wide here. I'm grabbing them almost like above my shoulder blocks, okay? It's just a little bit more of an inline position. It feels a little more comfortable for me at least. Do what feels best for you, but this is where I like to have them. I feel like I have the support of the shoulder blocks right here. We're gonna bring our legs into tabletop here. Straighten them toward the ceiling. It's okay if they don't straighten all the way. Single leg lowers, okay? So hold on to those risers so you don't move. Left leg drops down. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, drop the right. Exhale, lift it back up. My legs are quaking. 1 more each side. Bring those legs to tabletop. Now we're just doing toe taps. So legs are at 90 degrees. Keep this 90-degree angle. I don't want to see you bending to drop to the floor, okay? You're hinging from your hip. So shoulders are down once again. 90 degrees. Left foot taps down, lift it up. Right foot. Are your abs dying? Because mine are. Knit those ribs in. Whew, keep your spine on the mat. Don't let it arch. 2 more each side. 1 more. Last one. And bring it in. Take one hand, hug your knees into your chest really quickly. Other hand, hug the other knee. We're gonna do a little bit of inversion here, okay? So this is one of the reasons I said it was more advanced, because we're on no springs and we're doing some inversion. So you have to be in control of what you do, okay? We're gonna start with just some simple rollovers. So once again, you're holding on to those risers behind you, okay? Take those legs, straighten them, exhale, lift through that belly to bring your hips over towards the ceiling. Legs come over your head, okay? Like so. Put a flex in those feet. Separate your feet about shoulder distance. Exhale as you curl and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping the flex in your feet the entire time. Moving slow and controlled. Once you get to the bottom, you can bring those legs back into tabletop option, straighten them all the way out, okay? Do it again. Bring it up and over, pressing your hips up, not rolling onto your neck, staying on your back here, okay? I'm now trying to make my legs parallel to the ground, flex in those feet, separate shoulder width. If you're familiar with mat Pilates, this is a classical Pilates move. We've just brought it to the reformer. Exhale, exhale. Keep the chest open, shoulders down, circle the legs together. 1 more. Bring it up and over. I am so sweaty. Flex your feet, open them. Use your breath. Roll it down, roll it down, roll it down. Try to keep your legs in towards your head as long as you can and bring it down. Now we're gonna move into corkscrew. So this is another tricky move but it's so good once you get the hang of it, okay? So again, straighten your legs towards the ceiling. Roll up and over like we just did. This time, I want you to think about taking your feet, keep them glued together, take your feet and just shift them to the right like an inch. Okay, so don't worry about your hips. Shift your feet to the right an inch. Now you're gonna roll it down along the right side of your spine. Roll, 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 all the way down that right side of your spine. Once you get to the bottom, straighten those legs, circle them towards the right, bring it back up, center your hips once again. Now we're gonna do the same thing towards the left. Take those feet, they're pointed and they're glued together, okay? Shift them to the left an inch. It's a super small movement. Exhale as you roll down the left side of your spine. Try to keep those legs glued together and in towards your chest as long as you possibly can. Circle them around. Bring it back to center. Do it one more time each side. Shift it, roll it down. A lot of times people cue to shift the hips. However, that can make people's hips get wonky. So I like to cue to move the feet, circle it up back to center, because it takes the brain work out of the hips and you naturally will just glide down. This is our last one. Roll it down, bring it back up to center. One more for good luck. We'll just roll it down the center here. All the way. Well done. We will sit ourselves up. We are in the home stretch here. Let's exit the reformer, bring it back to home base. Well, I can't think of what anything's called right now. Bring it back to home base. Take your bar and bring it down. We're gonna go into a little plank push-up series here. So I am right in between my platform and the edge of my carriage here, okay? I'm gonna take my hand closest to the platform, place it there. Hand closest to the carriage, place it there. I'm gonna bring my feet into a little bit of a wide stance. I'm a little bit wider than my hips, okay? Shoulders over wrists. Start with a narrow push-up, bring it down and up. Now, keep your chest square in line with everything else as you open up the carriage. So I'm shifting myself over, shift it back in, push up, lower, lift, bring it open, and close. Push up. Inhales you open, exhales you close. Push up. One more. And bring it back in. Before we go to the other side, we're gonna do a quick stretch here. So I want you to bring your feet through the shoulder blocks, resting on the headrest. Come into a little child's pose here, okay? So my hips are kind of right where the shoulder blocks are. You can bring the carriage out a little bit if you want to help get a little bit deeper of a stretch. Chest comes towards the carriage, hands are on the platform. Let's shift it into a swan now. So move slowly for this first one. I'm gonna lift my hips up as I shift my body forward, bringing my pubic bone towards the carriage. As I lift my chest up and my head looks at the wall in front of me, keeping my shoulders down. I'm keeping the carriage in place, I'm not moving it. Now I'm gonna rock my hips back. Coming into that rest pose. Inhale, rock it back to swan, moving slowly and intentionally here. Do not move quickly. This should feel really nice in those abdominals. Press it back. We've got one more swan, then we have the plank on the other side and you're out of here, all right? Rock it back forward. and sit it back. Bring the carriage into the stoppers. That's what it is, stoppers. Step off to the other side, coming into the plank on this side now. So one hand is on the platform, the other hand is on the carriage. Your feet are slightly wider than your hips, but your chest is square over your hands here, okay? Push up, shift it to the side, bring it back in. Push up, shift it over, bring it back in. 3 more. Last 2. I had to get some upper body work in here. Last one. Rock it forward, bring it all the way in. You have made it through. If you completed this workout, let me know in the comments below. I would love to know what you thought of this No Spring series. Be sure to join me next time. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you for our next workout. Bye.